Hey y'all, listen, check in with me. Okay, so all right, so look, dig this, right? I was talking to somebody, not nothing crazy, not nothing crazy, just communicating, just talking, and like for real, dude start triggering me, like just triggering me, and so he says to me like I'm really sorry that I triggered you about your late husband. And I had to really sit in that. And at first I was like, man, I feel bad. But you know what happened? The reality hit. He was never triggering me about my late husband, right? He was triggering me about my ex. Okay, that's another separate person. For the sake of conversation, dude. Okay, so he was triggering me about dude, and so then I had to sit and I was praying and I was like, man, why is this man, you know, trigger me about dude? Because like I don't talk to dude, I ain't got no communication with dude. I've completely cut dude out of my life. It's like that's cool, that's no biggie. But then it hit me. It's like the people, it's like the children of Egypt when they asked God for a way out and for deliverance, right? From deliverance of the place and the situation. And he did that, right? He gave them the greatest gesture of exit, got them through, right? Bust open the sea. Now they 11 days. Listen to this, listen to this. The children of Israel, the children of Egypt was 11 days away from the promised land. But because they would not be delivered from the routine and the mindset of Egypt, they was in captivity of themselves for 40 years. I was like, wait, what? So to say that is to say this. You can get through and never be delivered of the very thing that has you trapped in your head. Like you ain't got to see a person, talk to a person, deal with a person, but you will be internally trapped and you won't know it and you won't admit it until you're triggered by a whole nother thing, a whole new person, a whole new place, a whole new location, right? So I'm sorry, y'all. My allergies, I promise y'all, these allergies is trifling. Like my eyes be like burning and itching. Like that's why I got my glasses on. But anyway, um, so I'm sitting there like, no, I'm triggered because like I still have work to do in the totality of forgiveness. I still have work to do in the place of like understanding which level, the level of deliverance, right? Because there's levels to this thing. You know, like boom, I cut you out of my life. That's cool. It's a good thing. No communication. That's a great thing. You know what I mean? I'm walking in my purity stage. Beautiful thing. However, the emotional and the psychological distress that I endured, I just put it under my feet. I'm working on deliverance with it. So it's triggering. Everything is triggering, right? Like, hey, can I do this for you? I feel triggered. You know what I mean? I want to open up your car door. I feel triggered. It's the small stuff, y'all. It's the small stuff. So I came by. I said all of that to say simply this. When you let it go, you got to let it all go. Right? Like, and don't get me wrong, because I'm a real big advocate for like, I don't talk bad on people. Like, you know, I'm real accountable. You know, if I made choices, I stand by the choices I made. I deal with my consequences accordingly. However, they don't have nothing to do with getting to the promised land. Like they don't have nothing to do with once you cross that river, it don't have nothing to do with it. Especially when it's the river that you could never swim through. Especially when it's the river that only God made a way for you to get through. Man, y'all listen, I'm saying I be so taken with God give me revelation. I be so taken with revelation. And like gratefully humble that I get revelation because like it allows me to grow, right? It allows me to continue to grow. So in this place of my growth, have to be acceptable to the process. That's why I always say this is the process of a widow. This is the progress of a widow, because there are certain parts of this widowship that, like, a lot of people, one, won't really talk about, but two, won't admit to. I'm cool on that. I'm cool to be like the open book to it, right? So God sees fit for me to do, because it's a reality. When people in your life, especially in like the hardest parts of your life and the most sensitive and vulnerable parts of your life, the only expectancy that I had was for him not to hurt me, right? For him not to disappoint me. Yet all of that took place in ways that I would have never fathomed for it to take place. Yet, because I'm healing, because I think most times we as human beings, we feel like if we can go day to day without making a phone call, we've healed. If we can go week to week without, having a phone call or a conversation, we've healed. When the reality of it is, it's just a scab. It's just a scab over the wound. And if the right person come and bump you and scratch it off, you bleeding all over again. When I say I want to properly heal, that's exactly what I mean. I want no scabs. It's going to leave a scar regardless, but I don't want no scabs. And I ain't trying to be 40 years, bro. You know what I'm saying? Let me go and take this little 11-day walk. I don't know what 11 days really look like, but in the reality of 11 days versus 40 years, I'm cool on 40 years. Like, I'm cool on that, because like that's the whole generation. Like, why would I allow myself to distress myself for a 40-year mental place? Because then this is why the generations are the way they are. This is why, your grandparents' mind state of thinking becomes your mind state of thinking, because it's within the generations. You know what I mean? Each generation passed over that mindset. Each generation passed down that unfortunate state of thinking. Let's all be a generational curse breaker in our walks, in our growth. But side note today, y'all, this is day 58 of my celibacy.